Sleep is not a luxury. It's a biological necessity, especially during menopause. When you sleep, your body repairs, restores, and balances hormones in flux. Ignoring sleep is like trying to run on empty. Your system breaks down without it. We must reframe sleep as a non-negotiable pillar of health, not an indulgence. The hormonal changes of menopause, especially shifts in progesterone and cortisol, make sleep more challenging, but not impossible. Small, consistent changes are your most powerful tool. Better sleep is possible, starting now. Millions of women are going through this exact struggle right alongside you. The societal pressure to have it all together, even when our biology is throwing us curveballs, is immense and unrealistic. It is time to let go of the guilt and self-blame. The menopause transition is a period of profound biological change. Your ovaries are gradually winding down their production of key hormones, estrogen, progesterone. This is not a smooth, linear decline. It is often a chaotic series of peaks and troughs. These fluctuations are the root cause of so many menopausal symptoms, and sleep disruption is one of the most prevalent. Your brain, which has been accustomed to a certain hormonal environment for decades, is now struggling to adapt to a new normal. The sleep-wake cycle, which is delicately tuned by these hormones, is one of the first things to get thrown off balance. Think of it this way: your body is undergoing a major system software update, and it is doing it without a manual. Glitches are bound to happen. The hot flashes that jolt you awake, the sudden need to urinate, the restless legs that keep you kicking, are all physiological responses to this hormonal shift. They are not figments of your imagination or signs that you are not trying hard enough to relax. Acknowledging that this is a medical and biological issue, not a personal failing, is a critical first step. It shifts the focus from, what am I doing wrong, to what is happening in my body and how can I support it. This understanding is liberating. It allows you to approach the problem with curiosity instead of criticism. You can become a detective in your own life, gathering clues about what triggers your sleeplessness. A hot room? A late-night snack? A stressful conversation before bed? When you remove the layer of shame, you can see the situation more clearly. You are not broken. Your body is navigating a natural, albeit challenging, transition. Your job is not to force it into submission, but to work with it, providing the support it needs to find a new equilibrium. And that is a journey we can embark on with science as our guide. To understand why sleep goes haywire during menopause, we need to talk about two key hormonal players: progesterone, cortisol. Let's start with progesterone. You can think of progesterone as your body's natural sleep aid, its built-in lullaby. This hormone has a calming, sedative-like effect on the brain. It helps you stay asleep. Progesterone also helps to reduce anxiety. Progesterone promotes a sense of tranquility. During your reproductive years, progesterone levels rise after ovulation. They fall before your period. That's why sleep can be disrupted in the days leading up to menstruation. During perimenopause, progesterone production becomes erratic. During menopause, it declines significantly. Less of this natural calming agent is like falling asleep without your favorite cozy blanket. Your brain becomes more easily aroused. The threshold for waking up is much lower. A creak in the floor can jolt you awake. A distant car alarm can jolt you awake. Many women report feeling more anxious. Many women report feeling wired at night. They can't switch off racing thoughts. They can't settle into deep, restorative rest. Now, let's turn to cortisol. Cortisol is often called the stress hormone, but its role is more nuanced. It is your body's natural alarm clock. Cortisol should follow a specific daily rhythm, lowest around midnight, allowing you to sleep deeply. It begins to rise in the early morning, peaking just as you wake. That morning surge gives you energy and alertness. This predictable pattern supports a healthy sleep-wake cycle. When cortisol works correctly, it harmonizes with your body's needs. But menopause can disrupt this rhythm. Declining estrogen and progesterone can mess with cortisol regulation. Menopausal symptoms like hot flashes are physical stressors. They can trigger a cortisol release at the wrong time, like in the middle of the night. You might be wide awake at 3 a.m., heart pounding, mind racing. It's a cortisol surge when levels should be at rock bottom. Your body's alarm clock goes off at the wrong time. It disrupts your sleep. The shifting levels of estrogen and progesterone during menopause do not just disrupt sleep directly, they create a cascade of secondary issues that further sabotage your rest. It is a hormonal roller coaster that sends ripples through your entire system. For instance, the decline in estrogen can lead to vasomotor symptoms, better known as hot flashes, night sweats. A hot flash is not just a feeling of warmth. It is an intense surge of heat that can cause profuse sweating and a rapid heartbeat. Waking up in the middle of the night drenched in sweat is profoundly disruptive to your sleep architecture, pulling you out of deep, restorative stages of sleep. This hormonal shift also directly impacts your brain chemistry. Estrogen helps regulate mood and neurotransmitters serotonin and dopamine, which play a role in both mood and sleep. As estrogen levels fluctuate and decline, you may find yourself experiencing increased anxiety, irritability, or even symptoms of depression. Lying in bed with a racing mind, replaying conversations from the day, or worrying about the future is a common experience. This state of mental hyperarousal makes it nearly impossible for your brain to transition into a restful state. It is not a matter of willpower. Your brain chemistry is actively working against your desire to sleep. Furthermore, the physical changes of menopause can add another layer of sleep disruption. The decline in estrogen can affect the tissues of the urinary tract, leading to increased urinary frequency or urgency, a condition known as nocturia. Waking up multiple times a night to use the bathroom breaks the continuity of your sleep, preventing you from cycling through the sleep stages properly. Similarly, some women experience an increase in aches and pains or develop restless leg syndrome, an overwhelming urge to move the legs, especially at night. All of these factors, hot flashes, anxiety, bladder issues, physical discomfort, create a vicious cycle. Poor sleep exacerbates stress and anxiety, which in turn makes it even harder to sleep. The fatigue from a sleepless night can make you more sensitive to pain and emotional distress the next day. It can feel like you are trapped in a downward spiral. Understanding that these issues are all interconnected and stem from the same root cause, hormonal change, is the first step. It allows us to stop treating each symptom in isolation and start addressing the underlying imbalance in a holistic and strategic way. Feeling overwhelmed by all this information is normal, but now that you understand the why behind your sleep struggles, we can focus on the how. The solution is not a single magic pill, but a comprehensive approach I call the Sleep Through Menopause method. This method is built on a foundation of science and empowers you to become an active participant in your own health. It integrates 3 key components: evidence-based science, a proactive mindset, small, sustainable daily actions. It is about making targeted changes that work with your body's new biology, not against it. The first pillar is science. We leverage what we know about hormones, chronobiology, and sleep hygiene. This means focusing on strategies that directly support your natural sleep-wake cycle. For example, light exposure is the most powerful signal for setting your internal clock. A key action is getting bright light in the morning. Another is minimizing blue light from screens at night. We also use science to guide our nutrition. Focus on foods that support progesterone production, and foods that help stabilize blood sugar to prevent crashes that wake you up. This is about using data, not dogma, to make smart choices. The second pillar is mindset. Letting go of guilt is paramount. Adopt an attitude of compassionate curiosity. Celebrate small wins, like sleeping for 1 extra hour. Don't despair over a bad night. A single night of poor sleep does not erase your progress. This mindset shift reduces performance anxiety around sleep. It transforms the process from a stressful battle into a manageable journey of discovery. The final pillar is small, daily actions. Grand, sweeping changes are often unsustainable. Instead, focus on tiny habits you can keep. Set a consistent wind-down time. Do a 5-minute breathing exercise before bed. Ensure your bedroom is cool and completely dark. These small steps add up. They create a predictable, calming routine that signals to your brain and body that it is time for rest. To begin this process, take one simple, empowering action. For the next 3 nights, become a sleep detective. Get a notebook and track your sleep. Note when you go to bed. Note when you wake up. Note how many times you were disturbed. Note how you feel in the morning. This initial assessment is your personal starting line. It will give you the baseline data we need to begin resetting your sleep, one night at a time. In this lesson, I'm going to cover why sleep is the foundation for your hormonal health, so that you can understand how much power it has in rebalancing your body. Before we dive in, I also want you to approach this with the right mindset, believing that small, consistent changes can transform your sleep and hormones. Then I'll walk through the action task for this module. Here's what we're focusing on in this lesson: why sleep struggles in perimenopause and menopause are common and not a personal failure. How 2 key hormones, progesterone and cortisol, control whether you sleep deeply or lie awake at night. What happens when these hormones shift, and why it disrupts your sleep. The transformation pathway, how this program will guide you step by step to reset your sleep. Here's why this matters for your sleep and hormone health. Progesterone normally calms the brain and helps you relax. When it drops, sleep becomes restless and anxiety rises. Cortisol should peak in the morning and fall at night. When it's imbalanced, you get the 2-3 a.m. wake-ups or racing thoughts. Sleep challenges are a natural result of these hormone changes. This program works by combining mindset, science, and simple strategies, the Sleep Through Menopause method, to give you back energy, rest, and confidence. To sum up, I covered why your sleep struggles are not your fault, explained how progesterone and cortisol drive most of your sleep challenges, and introduced the transformation pathway of this program. Most importantly, I reminded you that with the right mindset and small, consistent actions, you can reset your sleep. Action task summary: sleep and hormone self-assessment. Your first action step is to understand your unique sleep patterns and hormone symptoms. Over the next 3 days, you'll gather simple but powerful data that will become your baseline for transformation. Track your sleep for 3 nights. Record your bedtime, any nighttime wake-ups, wake-up time, how rested you feel each morning, and any factors that may have impacted your sleep. This helps you identify patterns like inconsistent routines, nighttime disruptions, or triggers that affect sleep quality.